welcome everyone. Welcome, Yo Bro Nation. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host. I am Zach from the Yo Bro YouTube channel. What is that? Welcome everyone to your newest installment of the countdown to WrestleMania. My top 10 WrestleManias. This is the countdown. Uh-oh. Gotta adjust my camera. Always end up having to do this. This is number 8. Number 8 on the list on this big countdown. Hello, again, I'm Zach. And today, what are we talking about today? Well, today, we're talking about WrestleMania 20. A show remembered for a lot of different reasons. We're going to go over quite a few of those. The biggest one, the most glaring one, having to do with one Chris Benoit. But, hello, I am your host. I am Zachary. I would like to welcome everyone who's watching. Thank you for everyone who has watched all the videos this weekend. 2K19's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Thank you for everyone who tuned into that, for the match preview, for my preview and predictions, for the actual Elimination Chamber pay-per-view later today. There will also still be number 7 on this list will be up later today. Thank you, everyone, for all those. Everyone who went and watched my rant on Charlotte being added to the main event of WrestleMania. Like I said, added, not taking the place. I'm pretty sure that's what that's going to be. But yeah, just thank you, everyone who's tuned into all our videos on the channel this week. Big day today. Today, obviously, is the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. A pay-per-view I'm not super excited about, but still a pay-per-view that is significant in what it's going to bring as far as us going towards WrestleMania. So, you know, thank you everyone for that. And thank you everyone who watched my retro rewind of Living Dangerously yesterday. Thank you everyone who did that. It's not a ton of you. Okay, I know. Not a ton of you, but for those who have watched, even if it's just for a little bit, thank you. I appreciate everything you guys have done. Now, I'm going to go ahead. Disclaimer, okay? A disclaimer concerning this event. What the hell is on my pants? The hot button subject of this show is Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit, a man who, at the time of this event, was one of the biggest stars. People were pushing for Chris Benoit to be the man, to be the champion, and that's what they got. It was a huge deal. People were celebrating it. It was something that everyone wanted to see, myself included. I can remember watching this, and that was the main reason I wanted to order it. Was I just wanted to see Chris Benoit win the championship, and of course the Undertaker's return, but we'll get to that later. I'm stuttering, but I don't want people to think that I'm glorifying Chris Benoit. So before you hit the dislike button, or you say something in the comments about me glorifying a man who murdered his family, let me iterate this. Let me get this point out there before I even get going. This was not me trying to glorify what Chris Benoit did. It has nothing to do with Chris Benoit. The match is why. The match, this show, this event. These are the reasons I put this on my top 10 list. Because it is one of those that I have a genuine fondness, a genuine love for this pay-per-view. It was one of the first WrestleManias I watched. It was my first as an adult. You know, as a true adult. So, you know, I had my family over, my aunt, my mom, my uncle, my sisters were there. A lot of us were there. We watched this. It was a family thing. It was WrestleMania 20. It was the biggest at that time WrestleMania. The last WrestleMania that took place at Madison Square Garden. It has a special place in my heart. It just does. So no, this is not because I want to glorify a man who murdered his family. It's not what this is about. And if that's what you think, and look, I'm not going to be upset with anyone who has an issue with Chris Benoit, because I have an issue with the fact that Chris Benoit did what Chris Benoit did. I mean, who shouldn't? If you don't have an issue, maybe you should go get yourself checked. Or maybe you're just a desensitized person. Or maybe you're just like, look, that's cool. You know, he did that. That's wrong, but I don't look at Chris Benoit from that perspective. Maybe that's how you feel. And I don't see any issues with how anyone feels about anything. Me personally, when it comes to Chris Benoit, and I'm not going to bring this up when I get to the match, because I want to just talk about the match for what the match was. Okay? So I'm going to get this out now and get it done and out of the way. This is going to be a long video. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be a long video. There's a lot to go over. But Chris Benoit murdering his family. I was in Iraq when that happened, okay? I was in the Army. For those who don't know, I served 7 years in the Army, and I was deployed a couple times. Chris Benoit, I found out while in Iraq through my E5 who was out with me at the site that I was set up at, Sergeant January. And he told me, hey, did you know Chris Benoit's dead? What? Yeah, Chris Benoit's dead. He killed himself, and he killed his family. What? Are you serious? So I wasn't even home to be able to watch any of that. I had to go on the internet and try to look it up and find out, was this true? Like, what's happening? You know, it was a shock to, not just to me, but to everyone, right? I mean, everyone who was somebody had heard about this and was curious. So I look at Chris Benoit, the wrestler, and I'm not one of those who have a hard time watching his matches, because I just look at them in a bubble. This is a match with a wrestler named Chris Benoit, who was a really fantastic wrestler, who on his wrestling acumen and his ability in the ring should have been a Hall of Famer. Should have been. I'm not saying he should be. Should have been a Hall of Famer based on just his wrestling. But with what happened, what he did, whatever the reason, you know, there's reports that it was CTE, and you know, a lot like what happened with Aaron Hernandez. They found CTE in his brain. If that's just how I cope with it, you know what I mean? I cope with it on the fact that, you know, Chris Benoit did what he did. It was wrong what he did. And he is internally and forever going to pay for what he did. For those of you who are believers in afterlife or heaven, hell, you know, you would probably believe Chris Benoit is in a bad place paying for what he did. That's just what it is. So no, I'm not glorifying Chris Benoit. I'm not putting the man on a pedestal. I am taking this event for what it was and for what I remember it as a child. And that is how I'm looking at this event. That's it. It's the only thing I'm doing. I apologize to those who are offended that I used this, or that I even used Chris Benoit in the thumbnail. But that was a big deal in this show. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, you know, two people who were never meant to make it, were never meant to be at the top, and were. Chris Benoit winning the World Championship, Eddie keeping his WWE Championship. It was a big deal. It was a big deal to a lot of people. It was a big deal to me as a child, or not as a child, but as a young adult. You know, 20 years old. I mean, no, 19. I was 19 years old. I was 19 years old when this event happened. Oh my gosh. Like, that's incredible. That's insane now that I think about that. I was 19 years old when this event happened. I was still a pup. Like, golly. But that's it. That's all I can honestly tell you guys. And if you still have an issue with it, well, then you don't have to watch this video. I would like for you to watch it and just open yourself to this is just about the event and the others, because it would be unfair to me to want to talk about this but to want to leave Chris Benoit. That'd be unfair to Shawn Michaels and unfair to Triple H, who were in that match. And I'm sorry, that was probably one of the top 10 best main events of a WrestleMania. It just is. It was that good of a match. So, yes, I'm going to talk about this. It's as low as it is only because of the fact of what happened with Chris Benoit. That's why I kept it as low as I did. But I couldn't put it at number 10 because it's still better than at least those two. It's, to me, a better event than probably 6 of the ones that I have on here. But I kept it low specifically for the fact I knew some people would have issues with Chris Benoit. But I had to put it on my top 10 because it is no doubt probably my fondest memory of watching a WrestleMania outside of 27. 27 was a fond one. Being in the Army, all my friends there, you know, my actual first true WrestleMania party. That's what I remember the most. It was just so, you know what I mean, right? It has the feelings. I feel things when I think about this show. Rewatching it just a little bit ago, remembering, still getting goosebumps at certain points. That's what I remember the show being. You know, all the way to the build. Oh my God, The Rock's going to be in a match with Ric Flair when they announced those. Oh, you know, it's going to be 4 hours. Oh my God, a 4-hour WrestleMania. That's awesome. Now WrestleMania's like 7 hours. You know, I'd rather go back to a 4-hour format. But it just, so many emotions that I feel when it comes to this WrestleMania. And I understand the feelings that some may have. And I don't blame anyone for feeling those. I don't. But for me, this is just, it's WrestleMania 20. You know, where it all began again. That was the tagline. And for me, it just holds a special place in my heart. That's honestly all I can tell you. I'm not going to get into the Chris Benoit thing again. I wanted to address it here at the top. I'm sure there's more I could probably go into about it, but I don't want to dwell on it. I want to celebrate the event and not let the cloud of what Chris Benoit did and how he forever affected this show. I don't want to let it bring people down. That is just how I feel. And holy crap, that was probably my best intro I've ever done on this channel. I am not even joking. Alright, so thank you everyone, though, seriously, for coming in, watching this. If you leave at this point, thanks for showing up. Thank you for showing up, honestly. Real quick, before we get into the actual full-on review and the reasons I love this show, I want to talk about Patreon. Patreon.com/YoBroNation. If you want to become a Patreon member, go here. You have 6 tiers to choose from. You get exclusive access to the Discord. You can become a VIP member by becoming a producer or a co-executive producer. You'll also moderate the Discord group. You'll also get opportunity when there's live reviews. You can monitor the group chat and make sure that, you know, I don't have no weird people messing with me. You'll also get to see Ask Us Anything Q&As. If you guys want to have one, let us know, and I'll set one up. Behind the scenes vlogs, that'll be a once-a-month thing. I'm working on one, and that will be put up in March. Exclusive AEW reviews, some coverage. I'll keep most of the coverage on the main channel just so everyone's informed, but the actual reviews will be done on Patreon. Monday Morning Creative. I did an episode, loved it. Episode 2 will be up tomorrow. I will be shooting it early in the morning because, well, I want to wait till after Elimination Chamber to do it. So that will be then. Post-show videos. There will be one tonight. There will be one tonight after the Elimination Chamber. Hopefully Cheryl joins me. It will be live after the event. You guys get to vote for Retro Rewinds. You know, you guys voted for Living Dangerously. That's part of the vote. Get birthday gifts. Get birthday gifts for being on Patreon. There's a lot of stuff on here. There's more stuff. Go in there. Stuff is in detail. You guys can join the Patreon group. I'll be posting stuff on there. You know, stuff like that. So, you know, I'm getting a wrestling trivia league set up. You guys will be able to, you know, get to be a part of that as a Patreon member. Get exclusive access to certain videos once that gets going. Announcement will be made once I definitely can say for a fact that it's happening. But things are in the work. Now, look, if Patreon is not your bag, baby, there are other options for you. Like for this one, for example. TeePublic.com/YoBroNation1. You guys can go on there. You can get our merchandise. We got the bags. We got the t-shirts. We got freaking cups. We got pillows. There's murals on there for some of these designs. There is freaking phone cases for your phones. I think it's for Android and iPhone devices, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's still continuing, but I was given an email. There is a slash sale, a Valentine's Day sale that they are doing. I think it's going to go through the weekend, but I think the percentage goes up as the days go by. So you guys can go check it out. Maybe it's still sitting there. I'm not entirely sure, but you guys can get any of these t-shirts, any of that stuff. All of it is available at TeePublic.com/YoBroNation1. And look, if you don't want to pay anything, or maybe you don't want to buy a shirt, maybe you don't want to have to donate, you guys can go to StreamLabs, StreamLabs.com/YoBroGaming and Reviews. You guys can go there. Or just do this. Go to Twitter. Follow us. Tweet us there. Go ahead and go to Facebook, like and follow us on there. You guys can go to Discord and just join that. Just talk to whoever in the Discord. Become a part of that. That's a helpful thing. I hate this hat. It always seems awkward and it just never seems right. I don't understand it. Or the simplest and the best thing you can do for the channel is, one, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you get updated you know, information on when videos are going up. You can also go ahead and like and share this video. Tell your friends about it. Tell them to come over here and check it out. Tell them to subscribe. That's the best thing you can do. And you know what? It's 1000% free. It doesn't cost you nothing. So thank you guys for all of that. Let's go ahead and let's get into this review. You know, like I was saying in the beginning, WrestleMania 20, I remember the build to it. It hadn't occurred to me, you know, 20th WrestleMania? Wow. And they made this a big deal. 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours. And this wasn't during the network era when it was, okay, well, we're on the network. We can go over. If you're a pay-per-view subscriber and the show gets cut off, you know, they got to deal with you. But in this one, you know, they let, I guess, pay-per-view providers know, hey, we're going to go over. We're starting early. We're going to go over the 10 o'clock time. Just that's how it's going to be. So at number 8 on my countdown, I have WrestleMania 20 emanating from the Mecca, Madison Square Garden in New York City. This took place on March 14th of 2004. I remember it fondly. I remember my mom was there, my aunt, my uncle, with a few of my cousins. My mom's friend Patrick was there. A couple of my friends had come over, my sisters. You know, it was a big deal. You know, we had chips, we had salsa, hot dogs and stuff like that. A simple meal. My mom's like, look, I'm not doing a big thing for this. So it was one of those, you know, things that I remember super fondly. I remember the set, and I remember how awesome the set looked. It was awesome. You know what I mean? Simple. It was simple. It was just a big old. Well, it wasn't an LED board, but it was like this. It was glass. Looked really shiny on the floor. Cool designs popping up during that. The background was set and shaped like New York City, so it looked like the city. Whenever someone would come out, it'd have little screens popping up on it, kind of showing you that. Super cool entrance. The show kicked off with the Boys Choir of Harlem performing America the Beautiful. They would show soldiers and other veterans of, the military, the police, and stuff like that, or just people doing good deeds. And at the end of it, they had that tower that replaced the Twin Towers after 9/11. Beautiful, beautiful package that came with them performing. Great opening package. Starts with Vince McMahon just walking in, the voiceover, 20 years and all that stuff, of all these WrestleManias, and then, they get to where, the current superstars are talking about what WrestleMania means to them, what it means to be at Madison Square Garden. To me, you looked at 19s, you looked at this one, these were probably the two best intros that I remember. 21 was good, with the whole Hollywood theme of doing the whole Dirty Harry, the taxi driver. You talking to me? That was good, but this one to me is like the best. The music, the score that came with it, the visuals of the wrestlers, just talking about, Benoit, this is, what I've dreamed of. And, just Big Show, you've not danced till you've, danced on the stage of WrestleMania, or just, the whole thing. And then just how they built, and they showed the overhead shots of New York and how it just amped itself up till you get to the end, where it all begins again, and you just see Vince and Shane holding Shane's one of his daughters, or sorry, was it his sons? Yeah, one of his sons. Just, oh my gosh, the next generation of McMahons, just continuing. And yes, WrestleMania is not what it felt like back then, but that was so good. The opening contest was The Big Show and John Cena. JR and King were your Raw announced team, and Michael Cole and Taz were your SmackDown announced team. This was at a time when I liked Michael Cole. I thought Michael Cole was a good commentator. To think that was actually a thing that people were able to do at one point, was like Michael Cole. Amazing, right? Big Show versus John Cena for the United States Championship. Big Show, who won the title from Eddie Guerrero at No Mercy back in October. See, but Cena was super, super, super over at this time. He was in his Thugonomics thing. He had just turned face earlier or late in the last year. Comes out, he's cutting a promo, insulting Big Show. My opponent's the, the float from the Macy's parade. Called him a, King Kong ripoff, and said he's itching to beat him like a penis with an STD. I mean, he cut this man down and says, everything's a lie. Big Show stuffs his singlet with plums or whatever. He's smuggling plums. Like, Cena was in rare form on this night. The crowd was eaten out of his hands. And I understand why they pushed Cena to like they did the next year, because Cena was still over, even at that point. Cena was still over with the crowd. So, Big Show comes out. He gets, Big Show chants, sucks. That gets those chants started. Back and forth, Cena trying to use his speed and his quickness to evade the Big Show, but Big Show's just too strong. So Big Show, once he got his hands on him, started beating up on Big Show. He works over Cena, standing on Cena, side slams, and just doing all sorts of stuff. I'm looking at my notes here. Cena keeps trying to fight back. He gets Big Show in a sleeper hold, but Big Show just kind of rams him in the corner. Big Show puts him into the Cobra Clutch. Cena starts to fade. He's starting to, the Big Show picks him up, slams him down, puts him back in it. Cena starts to fight out, starts getting a bevy of haymakers, starts building momentum, gets him up in the AA, back then, the FU, hits him with the FU, only gets a 2 count. Cena's just, oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh my god, I look so creepy. Holy shit, I looked creepy. Gets him with the FU. He's like, okay. He walks over. He grabs his chain, because this time Cena always wore his chain. He had his custom knucks, because he won gold to match his custom knucks. Takes the chain, the ref's like, he's rapping, I'm going to hit him. The ref's like, you can't do it. You're going to be disqualified. He's like, okay. So he throws it to the other corner of the ring. The ref walks over to get it. Cena grabs one of his knucks, comes up. Big Show's up, punches Big Show. Big Show bounces off the ropes, comes back to Cena. Cena picks him up, hits him with another FU. 1, 2, 3. We have ourselves a new United States champion. John Cena cheats to win. Taz was just more than ready. Oh my gosh. There we go. More than ready to point that out. That he cheated, Cole. That's the only way he could beat him. But people didn't care. John Cena was over like Rover at this time. My God, this sucks. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just always doing something to me. So yeah, John Cena, new United States champion. Obviously, we know what happens. Cena goes on, wins the WWE Championship. We know how things go. But for the moment, we all loved Mr. John Cena. We sure as the hell did. Coach backstage, he's getting stopped by some of the superstars. Teddy Long's back there. Holla, holla, holla. Gangsta. Blah, 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 blah. Shucky, ducky, quack, quack. All that funny stuff. Coach goes to Eric Bischoff's office. Eric Bischoff's like, hey, look. Everyone, I think Undertaker might be here. People talking about weird noises going through the building all day. I want you to go find out. He's like, but boss, Undertaker's SmackDown. Exactly. He's like, that's why I don't want SmackDown to get the jump on us. Go find the Undertaker. He's like, all right, you're the boss. Not that it was acknowledged. Johnny Nitro, or Johnny Mundo, or Johnny Impact, John Morrison. John Morrison was back there. He was at that time Johnny Nitro. He was back there with Eric Bischoff. So, just a little thing that, I don't know, maybe people didn't notice. Oopsie. We get a promo with Randy Orton, Ric Flair, and Batista, Evolution, recapping the events that started in June of 2003 involving Mick Foley. Randy Orton talking about how these were the very steps that he kicked Mick Foley down when he booted him. And they show Mick Foley falling. They show him, leaving after he, was challenging Randy Orton for his Intercontinental Championship in December. And how Mick Foley just went and took his ball and went home because he realized that Randy Orton was the better man. Then showing him, you got angry, you came back, and I spit on you, and then we just kept beating you up, and he's like, you know what, to be honest, it got kind of boring. He says, so what'd you do? You went and got Hollywood, you went and got The Rock, and you know what, we beat him up too. So they show that happening. He talks about how Evolution's going to beat The Rock and Sock Connection and embarrass them. Randy Orton in this promo. This is young Randy Orton. This is legend killer Randy Orton. Fantastic, fantastic promo. So we get the first. We move on to our next match. The first of 2 Fatal 4-Way Sudden Death Rules matches. This one for the World Tag Team Championships. I'm going to call it the Raw Tag Team Championship. The World Tag Team Championships. They took the WWF Tag titles and they turned them into the World Tag Team titles. RVD and Booker T defend the championships against La Resistance, the Dudley Boys, and Garrison Cade and Mark Jindrak. Garrison Cade is also Lance Cade, for those who aren't aware. Dudley Boys, being from New York, get a huge ovation. This was, like I said, a sudden death format. It was first fall to a finish. RVD and Booker T beat, I believe it was La Resistance. No, it was William Regal. I don't remember who the hell they beat, but they beat someone for their first time together, won the tag team championships. This match was kind of chaotic, quite a little bit. Teams would just come in and out, just randomly tag. Anyone could tag anyone in for their team, and they could do it like that. So a lot of blind tag stuff like that. Booker T probably had the most work in this match, getting worked over by a couple of the teams. To me, the best interactions were when it came to the Dudleys against RVD and Booker T. La Resistance looked pretty good too. But I'm sorry, Garrison Cade and Mark Jindrak just looked out of place in this match. Booker T was fighting with Rob Conway, starts to make a comeback, hot tag to RVD. He clears house. RVD goes for a frog splash, gets pushed off by Devon. All the teams start to battle. They're battling to the outside. Dudley's attempt a 3D. It gets broken up by La Resistance. Booker T hits the scissors kick on Rob Conway. RVD's on top. Hits the frog splash. 1, 2, 3. RVD and Booker T retain their World Tag Team titles. This was an okay match. It was not a great match, though. It was probably the weakest of the matches. And if I remember right, these matches were at, like, very last second. So, take it for what you will. These matches were they just were, what they were. We go backstage. Coach is, walking around looking for Undertaker. He's asking a PA, hey, have you heard anything? Heard any weird noises? He's like, yeah, there's some weird noises going on over there. So, Coach is walking down the hallway. He sees this, like, bay door. You could see some, like, purple light coming from underneath the door. And, he's looking at it, you just hear weird sounds, like, monkeys fucking or something, right? Monkey fucking happening. Coach is very suspicious. So out comes Mean Gene Okerlund. Crowd goes crazy. It's like, Mean Gene, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I'm here for the Hall of Fame, of course. He's like, no, what's going on in there? And out comes Bobby Heenan. Mind you, these guys are disheveled looking as hell. Heenan, his pant leg all the way up. His shirt's unbuttoned. He's got lipstick on his face. And, Gene is, like, buttoning up his shirt. And he's like, what were you two doing? He's like, Heenan's like, it's not what you think. I swear it's not what you think. And then the door starts opening. Heenan, he's just like, oh, God. He gets behind Okerlund. Out comes Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young. Mae Young, God rest her soul. And they're just putting up fresh lipstick. And he's like, what were you guys... And Moolah starts making out with Gene again. They start going back in there, and May grabs Heenan. He's like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. He's just talking like, please don't make me do it. I don't want to. I'm already wet. Or something like this. It's like he says something about being wet. And he's in there, and he's like, no. And he's grabbing the door, like, trying to close it, but he's not doing it. His arm's stuck, and he finally gets his arm in, and they pan away, and you hear Coach. All you hear is, ah! It's just like this. Like, again, just weird. Coach is just like, huh. And that's the last. No more search for Coach. Looking for the Undertaker. We get to some serious matters at hand, as it's Chris Jericho taking on Christian. This began with, like, some sort of a love triangle. It all began when Christian and Jericho were going to try to woo Lita and Trish. It's like, Christian with the ever famous, I'll bet you $1 Canadian, that you can't sleep with such and such. That's how it started. But, in the classic tale, it starts out as a joke, but, Chris Jericho falls in love. But Trish finds out. Trish has problems with him, obviously. It's mother effer, you're using me. But he tries to make things, they become friends. Christian's like, oh, why can't we all just be friends then? Lita's completely left out of this story by this point. Jericho, oh, I'm going to do this. And Christian's like, come on, man, maybe she's interested in somebody else. Hint, hint, at what's going to happen later on. So, he ends up attacking Chris Jericho, taking him out. I did this for you. Goes into a match with Trish. Hurts her. And, they show us promo. I did this for you, Chris. She ruined our friendship. She's trash, man. The jealous best friend. That's what sets this up. So Jericho comes back. They fight. This is going to be the match. So the thing starts out with a stare down. They're kind of trash talking. They lock up. Jericho just starts throwing fists, right? Jericho's like, I'm not here to wrestle you, bitch. I'm here to take you out. Yeah, I have a lot of notes. Jericho, though, very aggressive in this, on the attack. Jericho does a springboard over the top rope, taking it to Christian. Christian just kind of has to weather the storm, right? Christian, he's like just biding his time, just doing what he has to. Finally, he gets to take control of the match, slows the pace down, starts wearing down Jericho, starts working him over. The battle, though, the fight, the match, whatever you want to call it, starts to get a little back and forth. Jericho starts to gain momentum again. The pace starts to quicken. This was a fantastic match. One of the best matches at the beginning of the show. Neither man, though, can seem to gain the advantage. You had a nice little cool spot where Jericho's got Christian in the walls of Jericho. Christian, he's clawing, he's grabbing the apron, he starts to pull himself out. He comes out of the ring. Jericho just falls down, slides out with him, keeps hold of the move, and keeps Christian inside the walls on the outside. They climb back into the ring. They're fighting some more. A superplex off the top. Jericho, he's hurt. Christian's hurt. Here comes Trish. Oh, I wonder what she's here. Who is she cheering on? Chris Jericho? I couldn't imagine. Is she? Both men are back up to their feet. More fighting, more exchanging blows. Christian, with the advantage, gets ready to set Jericho up. Trish gets on the apron. She's all, yelling at him. He grabs her. Jericho, hits Christian from behind. She gets in the ring. Something happens to her where she's got her back to him. Jericho goes to grab her, hey, are you okay? And she elbows Chris Jericho accidentally, allowing Christian to roll him up with a schoolboy. 1, 2, 3. Christian defeats Chris Jericho. Probably still to this day, Christian's biggest win at WrestleMania. Well, maybe aside from the TLC matches. His biggest singles victory at WrestleMania. After the match, she's apologizing to Chris. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? He's like, no, it's okay. I'm all right. Christian gets on the apron. He's like, you son of a bitch. And she's like, no, don't worry about it. He's like, no. And he keeps trying. And she finally pulls him back the third time. Smacks the fuck out of him 3 or 4 times. Jericho's just, and he stumbles. And Christian hits him with the kill switch. Jericho is knocked out cold. Christian standing over him, just talking shit to him. They go up to the ramp. Jericho's finally getting up, and he's just holding his mouth like, oh, you motherfuckers. And she's looking at him. Christian just grabs her by the hair, just, yeah, bitch. Kisses her. They make out, and Jericho's just seething. And the best part is JR's reaction. JR's like, are you telling me? You telling me that, Jezebel? Oh, if I had that clip, I'd play that son of a bitch, because that is funny. Oh my god, JR in his best form just does not know how to react. But this would lead, these two would continue to feud after this for a while. Trish would go on to basically be a heel for the next 2 years, up till, after she meets Mickie James, late in 2005, finally she would turn back face, and Christian and him would just go on. And then Jericho would leave the company in 2005 and would disappear for a while. So that's kind of just what happened there. JR's reaction. Just, oh my god. You get a shot outside of the building at New York. You get an interview, Lillian Garcia with Mick Foley. She says, with everything that's happened with Randy Orton, what do you have to say? And he's like, it's WrestleMania, it's a big deal, a lot of people are counting on us, It's like, I'm just hoping my emotions don't get in the way of what me and The Rock have planned. Rock's like, whoa, Mick Foley. And he's just full of emotion. He's like, just let the emotions go, let them flow, man. He's, look, everyone knows, he's just going about how big of a deal WrestleMania is. He's like, everyone knows what's riding. He's like, look, Don Morocco, Jimmy Snuka. He's like, look, it's the Hamburger and Grimace. You see, was it Hurricane and Roman Reigns' brother? What was his name at that time? I don't remember what his name. Rosie was his name at the time. They're just, when they were in their superhero tag team gimmick. That was a fun gimmick, actually. He's like, but most importantly, the people know it. And he's opening the door, and you see all the crowd in New York from that little side door you see from the ring. They're in that little area. He's like, all right, come on back. Lillian's like, no, Lillian, buffet's closed. No. Just Rock was on that shit. He says, but we're going to go out there and basically kick their ass. So they go out to the ring. That is the next contest. This was, excuse me. I did not mean to burp like that. This was one of those matches that I was excited for. I was like, oh my god, The Rock with Randy Orton, The Rock with Batista, The Rock with Ric Flair. At that time, it was more so, I want to see The Rock and Ric Flair go at it, and they didn't disappoint. I wanted more of Randy Orton and The Rock, though. This would be The Rock's last WrestleMania appearance. until WrestleMania 27. God, that's, my God, like 7 years. 7 years before he would be seen at a WrestleMania again. Come on. Rock and Foley get out there. They start hot. They're clearing the ring. They have the advantage. The crowd, when Rock and Flair are staring down, they just explode. Rock, hits some moves, takes Ric Flair down, starts doing the dance, and crowd's going, woo! Flair's going mad. The Rock back body drops Ric Flair on the outside when they're fighting out there. Foley then just comes flying off the apron, landing on Ric Flair. Just kind of a glimpse of what would come later between these two. Ric Flair tags in Randy Orton. He tries to evade Foley, but him and Foley are battling on the outside. Rock ends up getting in. Him and The Rock are fighting around. Like I said, I want more Rock, more Randy Orton. Especially now, Rock's this big superstar. Randy Orton's a Hall of Famer now. Fuck, give me The Rock versus the Viper. Come on. Rock beats Viper every time. Evolution, they're in control of The Rock. Rock makes the hot tag. I took some really extensive notes on this pay-per-view once I got further into the card. Rock makes the hot tag. Foley comes in. He cleans house. Foley's taking it to Flair. Randy Orton, on the outside. Randy Orton comes in, attacks him. They get Foley in trouble. He gets tossed into the steps, beat up some more. Not a lot of Batista in this match. I got to be honest, not a lot of Batista. Foley keeps fighting, though. Evolution, though, they keep the pressure on. Finally, Foley makes the hot tag to The Rock. Rock cleans house. Rock gets cut off with a spinebuster by Batista. He's getting ready to do something else. Ric Flair's like, hold on. Ric Flair's like, I got this. And he's doing the woo, woo, woo. And he runs to one rope. Down to the next rope. Woo, 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 woo. And as he's coming off that other rope, Rock kips up. Rock bottom to Ric Flair. Goes for the pin. He gets pulled out. Rock, he's beating up Ric Flair. Hits him with the people's elbow. Randy Orton's in the ring. The Rock counters the RKO. Hits a rock bottom. Flair pulls him out. Him and Ric Flair, they fight a little bit. Ric Flair loses his shit, goes grab a chair. Distracts the referee. Batista gets in the ring. Batista bombs The Rock. Drags Randy Orton on top of him. Randy Orton only gets the 2 count. Rock tags in Mick Foley. Foley, he comes in. He's taking it to Randy Orton. Beaten up. Rock's on the outside, put down. Everyone's just kind of laying around. Hits the double arm DDT. Should have went for the cover, but doesn't. Pulls out Mr. Sacco, sets up for the mandible claw. As he's getting ready to hit it, Randy Orton just jumps up. RKO. 1, 2, 3. Evolution wins this match. Of course, they celebrate. Randy Orton leaves his IC title. Did I mention Randy Orton was the Intercontinental Champion? Yeah, he was the Intercontinental Champion. Afterwards, The Rock and Mick Foley are just kind of sitting in the ring, and they're like, oh, Rock looks kind of upset. And he's just like, and then, he's like, okay, yeah. And as he's raising Mick Foley's hand, they cut him off to go recap the 2004 Hall of Fame ceremony, which would be actually the first Hall of Fame ceremony in a long line of them that would take place WrestleMania weekend. But, Rock would leave after this. You wouldn't see The Rock the next night. Rock goes back to Hollywood to go on and, just become the massive superstar that he is that you see today. Mick Foley would have a Extreme Rules match, a no-holds-barred match, whatever they wanted to call it, with Randy Orton at Backlash, which just made Randy Orton. Made Randy Orton really into what we see now. That match, I think, did that. But like I said, they did the recap from the Hall of Fame ceremony, which would become an annual thing every WrestleMania. They showed all the guys. They showed a little clip, of each guy being introduced, Triple H introducing Billy Graham and this person and that person. But then they showed Heenan, and he's like, this is one of the best nights of my life. I just wish Monsoon was here. And oh my gosh, it wrenched at my heart. Him and Monsoon were a duo. They were one hell of a duo. So, sadly, that's just kind of how that ends. But then Howard Finkel, who was your main ring announcer for this show, introduces Mean Gene Okerlund. He brings out the Hall of Fame class of 2004. This was a stacked class. I don't think I've seen a class like this since 2006. Was the only other time I think they had a really stacked class. Maybe even 05 was good. Like, those first 3 years were pretty good. 07 was decent. You had a few bigger names, but then it just kind of... I mean, this past year's class was pretty good, but I think this one in 04 was just, like, way better. But he introduces the class of 2004. Don Morocco, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Tito Santana, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Big John Studd via his son, John Minton Jr., King Harley Race, the Junkyard Dog via his daughter LaToya Ritter, Superstar Billy Graham, Sergeant Slaughter, and Jesse the Body Ventura, who I honestly just didn't care about that. I'm just sorry. People can handle me. I just did not care. Ventura was there because he had a political agenda, which you'd find out later. And then Pete Rose, whoever does not recognize the name Pete Rose, go back to WrestleMania 14 and go back to WrestleMania 2000, and you will see Kane. I think even WrestleMania 15. It was like 3 years in a row. Pete Rose tried his best to get one up on Kane, but yeah, just go watch it. At least watch those two. You'll see him getting his ass kicked by Kane. But he's the first inductee to the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, and again, that would be something they would do almost every year. Then we get to a match that I honestly didn't give a damn about. It was just sorry, I'm just testing my camera. Don't worry, I'm okay. Sable and Tori Wilson. Sable and Tori Wilson taking on Miss Jackie and Stacy. This is the first interpromotional match, and it's a Playboy evening gown match. Sable, though, she feels restricted and has decided she wants to start this match out, her and Tori, with the gowns off. Ooh, so titillating. So they asked the crowd, I mean, if that's okay with you, of course the crowd was a bunch of horny fucking people, right? They're just horny little bastards. Horny little New Yorkers. So everyone's taking off their gowns nice and slow, except for Miss Jackie. Jackie's like, fudge that. She gets on the apron. Sable and Tori pull her in, and they degown her. And they start to work over him some kicks. This was a horrible fucking match. God, this match. You could have cut this match off, saved me 20 fucking minutes of my day. And I could have already been on this and almost done by now. Like, Jesus effing Christ. I hated this match. It was stupid. Stacy, she's getting in the ring, posing. Oh, look, my butt. Like, Stacy had nice legs, but her ass is hanging out. She's also married to George Clooney, or dating George Clooney, or something like that. I don't remember. Tori Wilson was the best wrestler in this match. And that's sad. She was the best wrestler of this match. How crappy is that? Her and Stacy, do some pin reversals. Miss Jackie gets back in. Tori Wilson reverses a roll-up into her own roll-up. 1, 2, 3. She's kind of sitting on her. And even after, she's just sitting there. And she's just like looking down like, what do I want to do? Do I want to play with their fucking chotch? What do I want to do? She starts slapping it. And then she starts pulling the fucking panties off. And I'm like, what are you doing? She finally gets off. Jackie leaves. Stacy leaves. And they celebrate and make a kiss up on the fucking stage. Like they're really going to make out. Whatever. This was stupid. This is the antithesis of what made the Divas division fucking garbage. It was garbage. I hated it. Worst part of the fucking show. They go to some stuff recorded early in the day with fan interactions, people from all these different countries coming in. They didn't make big deals about this at that time. Who they wanted to see? Oh, The Undertaker! I'm so fired up. All sorts of cool shit. Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit backstage. Benoit getting ready. And Eddie's like, hey, you're my boy. I'm proud of you. Win or lose. Benoit's like, what the fuck you mean, win or lose? He's like, well, I mean, you're going against going against HBK and Triple H. I mean, no one really expects you to win, Holmes. And he's like, what? Benoit snaps. I believe. He's like, I don't give a damn. He's like, I don't care what other people think. And he's fired up, and Eddie starts getting all... He's like, what are you laughing about? He's like, calm down, man. I'm just messing with you. It's like, this is the Chris Benoit I believe in. Chris Benoit who believes in himself. And it was good. Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, their little interaction. Eddie just getting him fired up and getting him ready for the match. Here was another waste of time. They really effed over the cruiserweights in this one, didn't they? Had the cruiserweight open for the cruiserweight championship. You had Chavo defending the title against Nunzio, Jamie Noble, Tajiri, who was with Akio, who never even got into the match. Funaki, Shannon Moore, Ultimo Dragon making his debut, Billy Kidman, and Rey Mysterio. This match was made after Rey won a #1 contenders match, but Paul Heyman kind of screwed him over and said, nah, we're going to do it in this big old thing, so if you want the title, you got to beat more than just Chavo. Chavo Classic was out there with Chavo, by the way. Love Chavo Classic. Just love him. Shannon Moore starts this with the Ultimo Dragon. Pace was a little quick, lots of near falls to start. Some kicks, some flipping shit, flippy shit. Ultimo Dragon hits a flipping reverse DDT and eliminates Shannon Moore. Jamie Noble gets in the ring, hits Dragon from behind. Ultimo Dragon, he's fighting back. Some more exchanges. Jamie Noble puts him, though, in his front, like, he wraps his legs around him, scissors him, goes down. That sounds so dirty, scissors him. Scissors his waist, takes him down, puts him in that front sleeper hold. Ultimo Dragon, I didn't see it, but he taps out. Funaki runs into the ring. Quick, small package. Funaki gets eliminated. Nunzio of the Full-Blooded Italians, you guys might remember I talked about him the other day, yesterday. He's Little Guido. Like I said, I wish they would have done something different with him in WWE. He comes in, he's like, whoa, come on, you and me, we're cousins, come on. Because that's how they angled him coming in. He was the cousin of Jamie Noble, his Italian cousin. Jamie Noble's like, nah. So he just straight attacks Nunzio. Nunzio fights back. Some kicks from Noble. Nunzio rolls out. Jamie Noble flies over the top rope. Nunzio unable to get up. Nunzio counted out. Billy Kidman's next in. Him and Noble are fighting. Noble's on the apron. Nunzio grabs him, pulls him down. They start fighting. Kidman drop kicks them through the ropes. They fall down. He decides to climb onto the top rope. Like a monkey, jumps. You can see he slipped and he missed his landing. If they weren't there, he would have died. Hits his head against them and they fall. Like, it was a scary, and I think it hurt Kidman's neck, and I think it probably greatly contributed to the fact that the dude couldn't wrestle not long after this. So he, like I said, scary shooting star press. Him and Noble are on top of the turnbuckle fighting. Kidman grabs him, jumps off, big old BK bomb. Jamie Noble is eliminated. Rey and Kidman are in the ring now. They're fighting. That's some back and forth. I remember Rey versus Kidman in WCW. This was nothing. Kidman and him were not doing what they were doing back then. They fight on the top rope. A power bomb with a cover. Rey just kind of flips through, rotates, power bomb, covers him for the 3 count. Tajiri gets in, takes advantage, gets Rey in the tarantula. Rey starts to fight back. Akio grabs him, holding him against the ropes. Tajiri sprays his green mist. Rey moves. Akio gets hit in the face. Rey Mysterio takes advantage of that. Gets them up in the victory roll. Tajiri gets eliminated. So there's a little confusion. Everyone's like, well, wait a minute. Is Akio in this match? Well, I don't think Akio can compete because he's got the stuff in his face. So Chavo just jumps right in to take advantage. Him and Rey are fighting back. Chavo Classic tries getting involved. Rey knocks him off the apron. Goes to run and do a senton. Ref stops in. Ref's like checking on him. Rey goes ahead. Does it anyways over the ref. Dropping Chavo Classic. He barely grabbed Rey. He was way back. Rey's coming over and he's like, oh shit. He has to run up and grab Rey. So Rey takes him down. Rey gets back into the ring. Chavo is fighting with him. Tries to get advantage of the distraction. Chavo sits on him with his legs. Crouching. Leans over. And Chavo Classic grabs Chavo Jr.'s hands, holds him down. This all happened quick. This was literally maybe 10 minutes. And Chavo wins and retains the Cruiserweight Championship. These guys will go on and have another match. Actually, he'd end up losing the title to Jacqueline. Promo for Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Oh my God. What do I say about this? Now, most of you who are going to watch this are going to remember Goldberg and Lesnar not for their WrestleMania 20 encounter. That's not what you're going to remember. I know, my hair is a mess today. That's not what you guys are going to remember. You guys are going to remember, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, maybe even a little interaction in the Royal Rumble in 2017. That's what you're going to probably remember the most. Most of you. But there was a time when these two, in 2003, Goldberg was the world champion, Brock Lesnar was the WWE champion. They had a little interaction at the Survivor Series during a backstage interview with Goldberg. Fast forward to the Royal Rumble, Goldberg's being interviewed again about being number 30. Brock had just retained his WWE Championship, beating Bob Holly, and trash talks Goldberg. Goldberg's just like, whatever, dude, fuck you. I'm going to go through 29 dudes, and maybe I'll challenge you. Goldberg's in the Rumble, cleaning house, and Brock Lesnar comes in and distracts Goldberg, allowing Kurt Angle to eliminate Goldberg. That obviously pissed off Goldberg. So you fast forward to the fact that Goldberg knew that he was defending his championship against Eddie Guerrero, that being Brock Lesnar. Austin's like, hey, got a couple tickets, why don't you go? Just don't do anything I wouldn't do. So Goldberg's at No Way Out. Well, this was the build for No Way Out that year. Excuse me, I noticed this shit. So Goldberg gets in the match, gets involved, helps Eddie Guerrero kind of win. You know, he spears Brock Lesnar, leading to Eddie Guerrero, putting him on the belt, pinning him, you know. And then Brock Lesnar's like, I want Goldberg. Now, Goldberg was suspended for what he did, but Brock Lesnar's like, I want a match. And Austin, you know, Vince's like, I ain't doing that. And Austin's like, no, I think you should give the fans what they want. He's like, fine, but you're going to be the special guest referee. Fine, no problem. Nice build. Austin and, you know, Brock have a thing. I was like, oh my God, could this be setting up to an Austin-Brock match? Is Austin going to come back? Never happened. Never happened. Neither here nor there. Reason it never happened. Okay, so the whole thing behind this match, if you go back and you watch this, the crowd shit all over this match. Why did they shit all over this match? Because they knew that not only was Brock Lesnar leaving to go play in the NFL, but they knew that Goldberg was also leaving. Both men were leaving to go do other ventures. And I don't have a problem with that. You know, they want to go do other things. Well, fuck, more power to them, right? Like, just let them do what they want to do. But the crowd was smart. This New York crowd knew, hey, these guys are leaving. Fuck them. So Goldberg and Austin Goldberg, Austin, Lesnar all make their entrances. Like I said, crowd knew that they were leaving. Crowd just didn't want them. And honestly, watching the match, neither man tried. Neither man fucking tried. Goldberg was burnt out on wrestling, hated what was going on. You know, him and Triple H were having issues backstage. Lesnar just wanted out, hated the schedule, wanted to go try something else. He's like, oh, you know what? I'll go play in the NFL or something. My God. Golly, my hat's all just jacked up. So the bell rings. This match was not what I expected. I remember thinking about this match when I was a kid, right? Thinking about it and just being like, oh man, you know, these guys are gonna like destroy. Like having images in my head of these guys, you know, beating each other with steps and fighting to the outside, just brutalizing each other. I mean, a long, you know, just will of just beating each other to crap. You know, just vicious violence. That's what I imagined in my head. It was nothing like that. This match started out with "You Sold Out" chants. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. And then just posing, Brock Lesnar looking around. Goldberg would say something, what the fuck do you want? And Goldberg saying, come on, motherfucker. Just posing, you know, taunting each other, lots of staring. The crowd was getting pissed off. You could hear the guys in commentary like, well, the crowd's really wanting this. You know, and I understand this match was booked like this. These guys didn't go out there and go in for business for themselves. I just think whoever produced this match was like, well, you know, they're going to leave, so let's just book it as lame as we fucking can, I guess. We got the match. People are already here. We'll just book it however we have to. Just get through it. A lot of Austin chants started going around. They lock up, get booed. Neither man can outstrength the other. I know that's not how I put it, but outstrength the other one. They pose and stare at each other some more. Brock Lesnar, I'm going to do the rest of the view like this. They stare at each other, right? They stare at each other. They lock up again. Nothing. Like I said, you can kind of tell there's some frustration with you know, commentary, because they're having to acknowledge, oh, there's rumors that Brock Lesnar's going to leave for the NFL. They were not rumors, JR. They were true. They were true. More posing, more testing each other, more tests of strength. Super slow pace. Finally, after some locking up and trying to see who's the bigger, stronger guy, Goldberg just runs at Lesnar, picks him up, drops him for a military press, drops him, slams him, crowd erupts. He goes for the spear, misses, hits the corner post, falls out of the ring, and as he's laying there and Brock Lesnar's out in there trying to do whatever, you get Goldberg sucks. Goldberg sucks. Just this crowd shit on these dudes. Goldberg gets put back in the ring. The pace slows back down. Lesnar's just wearing out Goldberg. He's just, shoulder tackles, holds. Just, I'm gonna hold him. Oh, Goldberg, I love you, my buddy. And these guys are real life friends, so I'm sure they agreed. Hey, this is a good thing. We'll save each other some trouble, right? Crowd started growing impatient. Pace starts to pick up a little bit. Goldberg starts, getting some moves in. Goldberg getting the pace built up. Goldberg hits a spear, only gets a 2 count. The crowd's still booing. Basically, you sold out chance still. Goldberg gets in Austin's face. That was 3 count. And Austin's like, dude, it was a 2. Whatever. Lesnar gets up, hits Goldberg with the F5. Only 2 count. Now he starts arguing with Austin. Lesnar sets up, goes for a spear. Goldberg moves. Brock hits the corner post, gets booed. Goldberg hits the spear. He gets booed. Jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, and that is the match. Literally, I gave you guys almost every move that happened in this match. It was such a waste of time. Such a waste of time. Afterwards, Lesnar gets up. He's cussing at Austin. Austin's just like, whatever, motherfucker. And he flips him off, flips the crowd off. Austin gives him a stunner. Bye-bye. We would never see Brock Lesnar again until the night after WrestleMania in 2012. Would be the next time we'd see Brock Lesnar. 2012. Like, holy shit, man. Hold on, guys. Am I okay? I don't know. She's asking if I'm okay. What was it? What was it? What am I doing? Oh, yeah. So then Goldberg gets in the ring. Austin gives him some beers. They're drinking some beers. Crowd's like, fuck that. Boo. Austin gives him a stunner. Stuns both the guys. And then we don't see Goldberg again until 2016 when he's on the game for that year as the exclusive download or whatever. So that was the end of that tenure for Goldberg and that tenure for Brock Lesnar. Just asking if the boys are home. So they show a shot outside of Madison Square Garden. Pyro goes off. You get a promo for WrestleMania 21. Vince comes out, no music, and just thanks the fans. Says, hey, none of this would be possible without any of you. Probably the most real he's ever been. So we get the second of the Fatal 4-Way sudden death matches. This one for the WWE Tag Team Championships on SmackDown. This was the better of the two. The better of the two matches. You get Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty defending their titles against the world's greatest tag team, Charlotte Haas and Shelton Benjamin. The APA and what would be... And then, the APA. You get the Bashams. They're also in this match. But this would be the final WrestleMania appearance of the APA. Same rules as there was for the Raw match. Shelton Benjamin starts off with Bradshaw. The Bashams, getting some blind tags, working on Benjamin. Great teamwork with Haas and Benjamin. They stole this match. They stole the match for sure. More of the teams getting in and out, you know, hot tags, you know, all that stuff, just like earlier. Scotty 2 Hottie tags in Rikishi. He gets in. The pace picks up. Rikishi takes out pretty much everyone. Ends up stink-facing Charlie Haas as there's stuff going on the outside. Things start to break down. You get a clothesline from hell from Bradshaw onto Danny Basham. He attempts one on Rikishi, but Rikishi moves and picks him up. Samoan drop. Then he just walks over, falls basically on top of Danny Basham. 1, 2, 3. Him and Scotty 2 Hottie retain the tag team titles. Again, not a great match, but a good match. I guess you could say. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It was good. It was good. Afterwards, they dance and they celebrate. You get a vignette for Edge returning to the ring. He would turn week or two after this, around the time that they would do. Oh my gosh, I can't keep looking. Jesse Ventura comes out. I forgot what I said. Oh yeah, around the draft or something like that. Edge would return. Jesse Ventura comes out to come do an interview. He says, "What would be WrestleMania without Jesse the Body?" Ha ha ha! In his biggest 80s Jesse Ventura voice ever, to do an interview. Who's my man? Where's he at? And he walks down to none other than our current president, Donald Trump. He asks him, you know, you hosted WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 4. What does WrestleMania mean to a guy like you? And he's like, yeah, it's a big deal. It's fun. You know, I'm here with my son. We're just watching and enjoying the show. He's like, all right, down to the personal stuff. He's like, if I were to run for president, if I were to run for office again, would I have your moral and financial support? And Donald's like, of course, Jesse, of course. He's like, wow, that's going to do it for the interview. Yeah, Donald Trump. And I just think of the irony, the fact that, one, Jesse never ran. And even if he did, he didn't win, obviously. And now the guy who he asked for support for a presidential campaign is the president. Yeah, okay. Now to some real wrestling. This is for the Women's Championship. This match was made and Austin turned it to where added the stipulation that the loser would get their head shaved. It's Victoria defending her title against Molly Holly for the Women's Championship. This was a good match. Very, very, very good match. Molly Holly, though, very aggressive to start this match. Victoria, though, she fights back. Molly gets the advantage. She's wearing down Victoria. Like I said, these women, they could wrestle. What I watched earlier, holy fuck, take it off. Save myself like 20 minutes of my life. This kind of becomes a back-and-forth battle. Molly Holly, she tries to do a flipping powerbomb off of the top. She kind of, though, drops to her knees. Victoria, she holds her up and then just slams her. It looked bad, but you know, I'll excuse one issue. Goes for the Widow's Peak on Victoria. Victoria counters into a backslide pin. 1, 2, 3. Victoria retains her championship. This match, they didn't get a ton of time. They really didn't give a lot of matches a ton of time. They fit 12 matches into 4.5 hours. But they did give time to the matches that really needed the time. After the match, Molly Holly runs, tries to get away, obviously. Victoria chases her down. They're fighting on the stage. Molly subdues Victoria, tries to put her into the chair, tries to shave her head, but the shears won't work. Victoria comes to before she can do anything, beats her up, gets her into the chair, and then just starts shaving. After strapping her down in the chair, just starts cutting her hair off. This continued, and mullet chant started. I liked the match for what it was. I said something the other day during my Living Dangerously review yesterday. I hate these dubbed themes. The dubbed theme for Victoria. Pay a buck, all right, give Tattoo some money, use the theme. That was one of the best parts about Victoria's entrance at that time, was her theme and that music and how it fit her and how her character was at that time. Man, just pay some money and get the themes right. Man, I hate these dubbed themes for the promo packages, for all of it. Holy shit, just give me some actual real music. But the haircut continues all the way up till Kurt Angle's entrance. Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship. No doubt, best match of the night. Just best one-on-one match of the night. Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle. This started after Eddie won the title. Kurt Angle, who was supposed to be Eddie's friend, didn't feel like that someone like Eddie Guerrero, who had addictions and other issues, kind of funny considering what happened with Kurt Angle, should be WWE champion. So he attacked Eddie Guerrero, which led eventually to this match. Paul Heyman was on the side of Kurt Angle with all of this. So you actually had Eddie Guerrero taking Paul Heyman in a match where he was handcuffed. The most famous part of this whole feud was Kurt Angle coming out and beating him up while Kurt Angle, or what Eddie Guerrero was handcuffed during a match. The match itself, like I said, the haircut was still going on when Kurt Angle came out. Eddie comes out and his thing, the crowd's just, really into it. Eddie. And watching this match and then seeing what I'm seeing with Kurt Angle now, I know I've definitely been saying it for weeks and weeks. I don't think Kurt Angle should be wrestling. And go back and watch this and then watch him now. And you'll know why. When you have your thoughts about what one of your heroes, one of the people you love to watch wrestle, and when you see they're not what they are now, it kills you inside. Kills you inside. Just kills you, man. I hated it. So, watching that, just, it messes with me. You know what I mean? Just messes with me. But to the actual match, Eddie gets him a chance. Both men, they're exchanging holds, trying to get the advantage. They keep reaching these stalemates. Neither man able to get an advantage. Eddie starts to build some momentum, but Kurt is like, Jesus Christ, she's gonna have to understand. I'm busy. I read what she said. Where am I? So Kurt Angle, he's showing that he's better, obviously the better wrestler of the two. But look, I'm just going to message her, say, I saw what you said, recording. Let me do this real quick because she's going to keep blowing the phone up unless I answer. I hate when I get interruptions. It does kind of get me sometimes. I lose train of thought of what I'm trying to say, and then I lose my place. So yeah, Kurt Angle works over Eddie Guerrero after Eddie started to build confidence, build momentum. And then pretty much this match starts going kind of like a chess match. Kurt Angle clearly in control of what's going on in the match, but Eddie just with that fighting spirit, that Warriors mentality, keeps trying to fight back. Eddie goes for a Three Amigos, hits one. Kurt Angle reverses that into a German, then tries to toss Eddie out of the ring over the top rope, but Eddie lands on his feet. Angle goes for a German on the outside, gets knocked off. Eddie goes up top, dives, misses, and hits the barricade. Angle pretty much takes control from there, tosses him in the ring. Eddie just starts working over him. Submission holds, suplexes. Eddie, though, he's continuing to fight, but Angle, he's keeping him down. Angle goes for a belly-to-belly off the top rope. He gets knocked down, comes back up, tries again. Eddie pushes him off again. Let's see. Eddie pushes him off again. Angle lands. Eddie's like, oh, crap. So Eddie goes for the frog splash. Misses. Angle starts delivering a bunch of rights. Eddie's asking for more. So Eddie's starting to fight back. He's like, yeah, I got this. He's like, come on, give me some more. Starts to build some momentum. You get more back and forth. Angle goes for an angle slam. That's countered. Eddie, he's in control. Goes for a Three Amigos. That gets countered into an ankle lock. The ankle lock, the first of a few. He gets kicked off. Ankle lock again. Eddie rolls through this time. Gets him into a pin combination. 2 count. Angle goes for the German. Goes for an angle slam. That's countered into the DDT. Eddie goes up top. Hits the frog splash. And I'm telling you, at this point, you're just like, oh, man, it's been such a good match. It's a long match, but it's really good. This is like one of those WrestleMania classics, honestly. Eddie hits the frog splash, only gets 2. Eddie's in disbelief. So Eddie tries to lift Angle up. Angle gets him into another ankle lock. Eddie's just fighting it. He rolls through. Angle goes falling to the outside. Angle's got to take a minute to recover. While that's happening, Eddie's he's lacing his boot. He's, grabbing at his ankle. He's, oh my God, it hurts. Angle stands up and he's staring at him. And all you see is Eddie go, oh shit. Angle gets back in. Eddie's going to try to crawl away. Angle grabs him, gets him back into the ankle lock. Eddie's just fighting. Finally, Eddie, he's kicking his leg, and he brings the other leg up, kicks the boot off. which leaves Angle like, what the heck? So Angle turns around, runs at Eddie. Eddie drops him into a small package, grabs the ropes with his feet, gets the 3 count. Eddie Guerrero retains the WWE Championship via cheating. That's Eddie Guerrero. Lie, cheat, steal. That was his thing, right? This was a awesome match. Of course, Kurt Angle's fierce. He even throws the boot. He throws the boot at him after the match. But, you know, Angle loses. Eddie Guerrero retains the WWE Championship. Would go on to lose it to JBL. Kurt Angle would go on to be the GM. Eventually would go to Raw and face a John Cena later on. But this was good. You know, Kurt Angle against, you know, Shawn Michaels the next year. I loved it. Great match. Best, to me, my favorite match of the night. Not the best match. I keep saying that, but it was my favorite match. So I guess to me it was the best match. I don't know. The moment that most people had been waiting for was the... hold on, guys. This was really the moment that I think everyone had been waiting for. The Undertaker versus Kane. This began when Kane, obviously he buried Undertaker alive at the Survivor Series when Undertaker took on Vince McMahon. Oh, geez. So, like I said, this is a long review. I'm about an hour and 16 minutes in, and I'm still not to the main event. This began when Kane buried The Undertaker back at the Survivor Series. Then at the Rumble, you get the gong, but nothing happens. You're like... Now, I remember when the Buried Alive match happened and Undertaker was buried. I remember thinking, oh my God, are they going to bring back The Undertaker? Like, you knew he's coming back, but you're like, are they bringing back The Undertaker? So finding out, yes, that's indeed what they were doing. But then there were people at you know, my job and, you know, friends that I knew. Well, maybe he's coming back. It's just mind games. He's going to come back as the American Badass, but he's just playing mind games. I'm like, no. I'm so sure. I'm so sure that you were getting The Undertaker back. And I was right. Thank God. So, you know, Kane's entrance comes. Pyro goes off. And then that board, we'll call it an LED board. On the LED board, the city's just on fire. That's Kane's background for his entrance. It's just the city of New York on fire. And if you pay real close attention, you can hear the sound of fire going in the background, which isn't a part of Kane's actual entrance music. But that Chemical Romance, or whatever the name was, by Finger 11, that song is amazing. Amazing song. So, yeah, it was a really awesome, cool entrance. So then Kane's in the ring, lights go out, fans start going nuts, and all you hear is, oh, yes! And you're like, and here comes Paul Bearer with the Druids. This was the coolest entrance of the night. This was the thing that was the biggest selling point of this WrestleMania, was The Undertaker and then Chris Benoit. So the Druids are out there. Paul Bearer, you know, he's walking to the ring. And he looks at Kane. You're no son of mine. Man, it wasn't even acknowledged. So the light, you know, the music stops. The crowd's just, you know, get the blue light hitting. That light goes off, and you feel like, oh, I'm getting chills. Like thinking about it, I'm getting goosebumps. But the music, the gong hits, and the crowd just goes, ah. I was at home going, ah. And then it hits again, and then you hear the thunder and the lightning, and his music starts, and the moment, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. He walks onto the stage, and the crowd's just going nuts. Undertaker chants, and he makes that long walk down to the ring, and he's just got the old Undertaker feel, and you're just like, man, like, I loved the American Badass gimmick. Don't get me wrong. I did. I loved it. I thought it was good at the point in time, but I knew the direction of the company was eventually going to change. Well, I mean, okay, I didn't know that, but I know that now, so I understand possibly why they changed back. Nostalgia. Of course, Undertaker then would go on to just, you know, be the total badass that he is. But this wasn't like complete Undertaker. It was like the slow punches. No, this was American Badass mixed in with Dead Man. You know what I mean? So, the Undertaker that you see now with the strikes, that's what we got. It wasn't exactly what we saw beforehand. Either way. So, Undertaker gets in the ring, Kane's just standing there. He can't believe it. You know, they bring up the fact that he's 11-0. Taker chants. Kane's just going to touch him, and he gets his hand on his chest, and Undertaker just unloads on him, just punches, barrage of punches. The ref's trying to get between him, and Undertaker snaps over at the ref, walks towards him. The ref's just out of the ring, like, fuck this. Undertaker chases after Kane. When he gets out of the ring, they're fighting back and forth. Kane starts to make a comeback, some stiff shots to the Undertaker, a lot of back and forth punches between the two guys. Taker, he takes control, goes for old school. Kane counters. This wasn't a very long match, and there was more to it. You know, the leg drop on the apron. Like, Undertaker did a lot of his okay. So, okay, I got it. I know what she's saying. I got one of the boys ready to go to his Grammys today. And maybe Noah will still go to his uncle's. I don't know. Those are the boys, my boys. I have 5 boys and a girl. That's basically what I have. I have 5 boys and a girl. Anyways. So, yeah. There was more to this match, but I'm just hitting the hits. You know, I'm hitting the hits. God, I'm stupid sometimes. So Kane grabs Undertaker's neck. Undertaker grabs his neck. Undertaker pushes off, goes for it. Kane fights out. Kane grabs Undertaker, choke slams him. He's on the ground laughing. This is your Undertaker. And Undertaker sits up. Kane's like, oh. Undertaker gets up. More punches, more soup bones, I think is what Taz calls it, soup bones. Choke slams Kane as he's building momentum. Does the sign, Tombstone, 1, 2, 3, the Undertaker is victorious in his return with the Dead Man, the Phenom gimmick. It's one of the best parts that I remember about this show was just the Undertaker and everything that he did. Oh man, it's so awesome. I loved it. It was my favorite thing, my favorite part of the show. And yeah, I loved the whole Benoit stuff that was going on, and I was really looking forward to it. This whole WrestleMania, man, I was just so jacked for it. And I wish my mom was here. I'd have my mom. She could tell you just how crazy I was about this show, how just excited I actually was, and how amped I was, especially for this. This was the reason my mom wanted to watch. Why she agreed to pay, I think it was $49 at that time. I think it was $60 because it was the special. So she paid that year to make sure we could watch it because she wanted to see The Undertaker too. That was the whole reason she let me watch it. Main event time. Holy crap, finally here. And I'm only, what, an hour, almost hour and a half into this review? I told you it was a long video, people. I told you it was long. Triple H defends the World Heavyweight title against Chris Benoit and Shawn Michaels. It was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, Benoit, 62 minutes in the Royal Rumble that year. Instead of staying on SmackDown and challenging for the WWE Championship, he decides to jump to Raw, challenging Triple H. However, at this time, Shawn Michaels was in the midst of a feud with one Triple H and was not willing to give up his opportunities. Like, I'm this close to beating him, and I'm going to do it at WrestleMania for the world title. And Benoit's like, no, you're not, bud. I'm going to WrestleMania. So Shawn super kicks him. This is during the contract signing. And he signs his name. Eric Bischoff's like, So Bischoff has to make a decision. Now, in reality, you'd be like, well, sorry, Shawn, but you're going to have to find something else to do. Wait in line. But for purpose of story, we get Triple H, Benoit, and Shawn Michaels in a triple threat match. Now, a lot of people are complaining, and I've heard it, and after rewatching this, I think I'll tend to agree. I'm kind of changing my stance a little bit here, because I see, okay, this could work. People are complaining now that Charlotte's going to be inserted into the Women's Championship match for the main event of WrestleMania. We've not even had the match, and people are poo-pooing on it. But if they do anything like what they did with this match, this one here, then I think we get one hell of a main event. One hell of a main event. And this match, like I said, one of the all-time greatest main events of a WrestleMania ever. It is. It's that good, guys. I need to get a drink. My throat. I've been talking for an hour and a half. It's killing me. So the match starts off. Chris Benoit and Shawn Michaels arguing, shoving each other out of the way. No, I'm going to beat up. They end up both knocking Triple H out of the ring, and then they just start going and taking it to each other. A lot of back and forth between these three men. Triple H and Benoit, they battle to the outside. Shawn gives them a baseball slide kick, knocks them down, climbs to the top rope. Moonsault! My God, this man. The man had a match back at Crown Jewel, still looked as good as he does here. It just amazes me at how great Shawn Michaels still is to this day. But Moonsault knocking both men out. Triple H gets thrown back in the ring. Shawn and him, they fight some more. More back and forth. Triple H, he takes control. Then Benoit ends up taking control. Clotheslines HBK over the top rope. 3 Germans to Triple H. He's going to go for the crossface, but Shawn breaks that up. Triple H ends up gaining control again. Benoit, though, he fights back. Went for another crossface. Shawn broke it up again. Then Shawn goes for a German, but Benoit reverses that, hits his own German. Hits the diving headbutt, only gets a 2 count. And look, before I go any further, I'm giving you like the Cliff's Note version of this match, okay? Go back. I'm going to give you Cliff Notes versions of all these matches. So if you're like, gosh, these don't sound that good, go back and watch it. The 4.5 hours is worth it. Okay, there's a couple duds, Goldberg, Lesnar, but watch it anyways because it's almost funny now to rewatch it in the capacity that you do, and it's almost funny. So just go back and rewatch these. Like, not kidding. Like, I would tell you the other ones, go watch this whole show. Go watch this whole show. Let's see, yeah. Shawn starts to build momentum, sets up for the super kick, hits it, goes for the pin. Benoit pulls Triple H out. Benoit and Shawn Michaels start fighting on the outside. They get back in. Shawn gets catapulted into the turnbuckle. He goes over it, hits his head on the post, busted open. What's a Shawn Michaels match without Shawn bleeding? Benoit applies the crossface. Shawn goes to tap. Triple H, who's still on the outside, starting to climb up, notices what's about to happen, and Shawn's about to go, and he reaches in. Best counter. It's not just I'm going to jump in and break it up. No, he's like, oh shit. Grabs Shawn's arms like this, and he's holding it from Shawn being able to tap. He gets himself in the ring and then starts punching Benoit in the face. Benoit and Triple H, they're battling. They battle to the outside. Triple H, he sets the table up, gets Benoit up there, sets him up for a pedigree, but Benoit's trying to fight out of it. Shawn gets up, punches Benoit, climbs up there. They just kind of look at each other. They don't even say anything. They look at each other, and you're like, ooh. And then they just suplex Benoit to the next table, and Benoit's out of commission for quite a bit of time. Shawn climbs into the ring. He's bloody. Triple H, he's out. He's bloody. Both these guys are now bleeding. Triple H is standing there. He's staring at Shawn. Shawn's just like, come on, you and me, let's do this. It's just us now. We're done with him. Let's finish this. So Triple H takes his time, build up momentum. He gets in. They just start punching. Then Triple H gets busted open. Triple H, though, hits the pedigree, crawls over to Shawn, barely gets the cover. It's been about 5-6 minutes at this point. Gets to the 2 count. Benoit comes flying out of nowhere to break up the count. Benoit, he's fighting with Triple H. Benoit goes for the pedigree. Triple H goes for a pedigree. Benoit counters that into a sharpshooter. Triple H almost gets out, but when Benoit keeps hold, pulls him away from the ropes, keeps him in it, and then Shawn takes his fucking head off. Like, he hits, and his head just goes... He connected. You see in the replay where Shawn connected with his face. But Shawn had control to where he didn't really hurt him too bad. Like I said, but took his head off. Shawn covers Benoit, only a 2 count. Shawn Michaels, he's setting up for another super kick. Ghosted, delivered on Benoit. Benoit ducks, gets underneath Shawn, tosses him over the ropes. He's, I'm going to win the title. I'm the champion. Triple H kicks him, goes for the pedigree, goes to lift. Benoit rotates through, counters, got Triple H in the crossface. Triple H, he's just, starts to fade, comes back to life, rotates, rolls through. Benoit holds on. Triple H, at this point, he's desperate. He's just trying to reach over for anything, and he's just sporadic, just, and then finally he just succumbs and taps. And Chris Benoit wins the World Heavyweight Championship. This match, I'm telling you, as I put away my notes, I'm telling you, this match was fantastic. And like I said at the top of the show, this is not me glorifying Chris Benoit. This is glorifying a match in which three men just gave you everything they had and gave you a fantastic matchup. That's what I'm doing right now. After, though, Benoit, he celebrates. He's crying as he's looking at the belt. His wife and kid were in the crowd. Actually, after the show went off, his son came in and embraced him, and they all had a big hug. But, as he's celebrating, he's in the corner. He comes down, and Eddie's standing out there with his belt on, crying, clapping. God, I miss Eddie Guerrero. And they embrace, two best friends celebrating the fact that they're both world champions and neither one of them should be. And Chris Benoit had his moment. Like he told me the other night, tonight is my night. You had your night. You won your WWE title. Tonight, I'm becoming world heavyweight champion. And he did. Now, unfortunately, he had a clunker of a title run. They did the rematch at Backlash, which was just as good as this match. But you take this match, forget everything else that happened, forget what Chris Benoit did, and just look at this match in a bubble. It was, without a doubt, one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. People all over YouTube will tell you that. If you ask them, what about the triple threat match with those guys? They're going to tell you, it was a fantastic match. But you got to look at it from the point of view of, just you can't look at it as, well, a man killed his family. Look at it in the context of the match. Just look at it in the context of the match and what the men in that match did. That's how you look at it. But that is going to do it for me, guys. I am done here with this video. I will be back later today, obviously, with number 7 on this countdown. That will be coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. And then tonight, WWE Elimination Chamber, the live review. I will be going live as soon as the show is over. And then I will be on with a post-show afterwards, exclusively on Patreon. So thank you, everyone who came and watched this video, everyone who stuck around. I'm Zach. Remember, Twitter, Facebook, TeePublic, StreamLabs, Patreon, all that stuff. People are telling me to get us a freaking, what is it? The little phone, the Snap, not Snapchat, whatever. Instagram. Someone said get an Instagram. Snap pictures on there. I don't know. But all that stuff, go check it out. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Remember, no stuff's coming tonight. Other stuff's on the channel. Go check it out. Thank you, guys. I'm Zach. I'm done for the day, or for this time, and I will see you all later in the video. Peace out.